Good evening.
Well,
Welcome to Tech Tuesday with Shimira Williams. I'm your host, Elwyn Green. Thanks for joining us. Uh, and tonight's topic is the web we weave. And we're going to be just talking about how sometimes folks think that if you have a Google account over here and a Twitter account over here and a Facebook account over here, that those things are so secret that what you do on one won't have any effect on the other. And Ms. Williams, you would say that that's a misconception, that's a false notion, correct?
yes, that's very much a false notion because search engines do not discriminate. There's no personal filter and professional filter. When you type your name in, it simply returns everything back attached to your name.
Okay, okay. So bear with me a moment, please. We have a call coming in. Okay. One of the hazards of broadcasting from one's home. Um, but you were saying when that search engines don't discriminate. So anytime, say, someone were to put your name in, everything that you've ever done online could emerge, right?
True, true. As a matter of fact, yesterday I did a Google search on my name and I found something from 2004 from
Wow.
Leadership Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So it was on page 7 of search results, but yet and still it's out there.
Well, if it
But
was
the actual link that it links to is not out there.
oh, okay.
So it was a newsletter article, and my name's in the newsletter article, but if you click on the link that the newsletter article goes to, that's dead. So I thought that was very interesting.
Okay. The newsletter article itself is still there.
It's probably still live and archived, but it's not online or available anymore.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
kind of weird.
Okay. Um, so when we think about the common idea of a personal, I'll say Facebook, for example, a personal Facebook account and a business Facebook account. What kind of precautions, I guess, should people be taking to make sure that nothing negative comes up when folks search for the name?
So one, you want to be very careful about who's able to tag you because you don't need to tag yourself for a tag to attach to your name for it to return in your search results. So let's say we were out, we took a picture, you decided to tag me in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a picture that doesn't show me in the best light.
Mm-hmm.
I probably don't want that tag attached to my name or that picture attached to my name. So removing tags of things that are not seen in great lights. Definitely turning off your facial recognition. People have forgotten that facial recognition is now on most social media sites, so that if you have tagged yourself in a picture, it's easy for the site to self-tag you. So you might not have intentionally wanted to be tagged, but...
Hold on, time out. So you're saying that if someone takes a picture of me and posts it on Facebook, even if they don't use my name, Facebook itself can recognize my image in that picture and tag me?
If you have that feature set, yes.
Okay.
Not only Facebook, but it's actually more popular on Google+.
Really? Okay. But you have to set that. It doesn't do it on.
You have to disable that setting. It's an automatic setting.
Okay.
So if you don't disable it, it's stuck in there.
It doesn't unless you, if you don't tell it not to, it will.
It automatically will.
Wow. Okay.
So here's the prime example. I frequently go out with one of my friends. Her name's Maureen. If I post a picture by myself after she's posted a picture, my Facebook status automatically picks up and says, with Maureen. And I have to tell it, no, I'm not with Maureen, but we've taken so many pictures together, it automatically assumes we're both in a picture.
Wow. Wow.
And so that's the facial recognition piece that she has turned on, that her facial recognition automatically assumes my face is her, because my facial recognition is turned off.
Okay. So in Facebook, if I want to turn off facial recognition, how do I do that?
You go into your settings, and you need to be on a test desktop version. This is not something you can do mobile. You need to be on your desktop. Simply go into your settings under the picture settings, or apps first, then pictures. You will be able to turn that feature off.
Okay. Okay.
And while you're in there, you probably want to enable that you have to approve everything that your name is tagged on. Things don't show up on my timeline that I'm tagged in automatically. I have to approve them. Okay. So, for instance, recently you've posted something and you tagged me in it, but it won't show up on my timeline unless I approve it.
Okay. Okay. Makes
and
sense.
So that helps you control your own settings on your page. But if I really felt strongly against what you had tagged me in, I can go in and remove that tag.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when I search my name, your Homewood Nation's website comes up because I am tagged on their site.
Wow. I did not do that. Just so you know.
You tagged me. You tagged me when you listed me under the article you wrote about.
Oh, okay.
A hashtag is born.
Okay. Well, so I have had it happen that Facebook tells me that so-and-so posted a photo of me, and I am nowhere in that picture. I have no idea why Facebook thinks that I'm in that picture. So you're saying that's because at some point earlier they connected that person and me?
Yep.
Wow. You know, they call it a social network, but that doesn't sound very social to me. That sounds almost anti-social.
I mean, you know, tags and hashtags are very important. That's how the internet actually indexes information. So people, you know, think, oh, I'll just put a whole bunch of hashtags on something, or it doesn't make a difference the way I tag an article that they post or videos that they post, but it does, because that's how search engines garnish search results.
Okay. Okay.
So how you're tagging your videos, your pictures, your posts, when you put hashtags on them, all of that matters. All of that very much matters.
Are there certain types of hashtags that can be especially problematic, or that can create problems for people? Are there certain types of hashtags that people should try to avoid using?
I'm pretty sure there are tons of hashtags that people should try not to use, but it really depends on you. You want to stay away from hashtags that maybe have negative connotations. And to find out what a hashtag is related to, two great websites are TWUBS, that's TWUBS.com. And if you go on their website, you can literally search a hashtag. You can also use hashtags.org. You can search hashtags in there. And a third one is actually hashtags.com, and it's HSHTAGS.com. And that will actually, that's an actual website only for hashtags. You can search hashtags.
Okay.
So it will actually come back with 3 or 4 different results.
That last one was
.com.
.com. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Taking notes here for future use. Okay. So I'm thinking about some younger folks that I know who use Facebook a lot more for their social life. They go to a party and they Instagram little 15-second clips of, you know, them drinking beers or falling down or cussing each other out for fun, right? What advice or counsel would you offer to these folks who are early in their adult lives, they're beginning careers or about to be in careers, but on the weekends they're also having fun and Instagramming and Facebooking their fun?
Well, you know, somebody would easily say, just turn it private, then you won't see it. It doesn't show up in your search results. That's not completely true, because if another person is tagged on it and they are not private, it's just a walk around. I just recently recommended this to a 19-year-old young man. He said, "Oh, I'm looking for a job, and my social media though was bad, so I deleted it all." I'm like, well, that's great, but it's going to take like 6 months for it to actually drop out of the search results being at the top. So what I highly recommend is for people to create positive information about themselves and tag it so that it will be the most relevant, the most current, and it'll show up faster. It'll show up on page 1. And all your negative stuff will start to push to page 2 and 3 until it actually is deactivated and drops off.
Okay, so deleting is a good idea, but it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Okay.
It's just not. It's about putting more good content out and tagging it properly. So maybe you find positive pictures of yourself, or you do community service work and you're actually just posting pictures of that in a positive light, so those results come back versus you drinking 3 days ago.
Okay, knocking out a couple of points.
Another thing is people should respect other people and ask them, you know, can I post this picture of you? You never know when someone is looking for employment, and now all HR managers search your name. So everybody, when they get to the point where they're thinking, I might want to hire this person, the next thing they're going to do is a Google search on you, or a Bing search, or a Yahoo search. And let's not only use Google, because it's one search engine. There are multiple search engines. I definitely, when I search my name, I do use Google, but I also use Bing, and I also use Yahoo search, and I also use DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo it doesn't really collect your cookies, so it gives you a little bit more of an authentic search result.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not collecting your history, it's not collecting your cookies like Bing and all those other places. So if you really want to know what your perspective is out there, that's a great way to go and look at their search results.
Would that be duckduckgo.com?
Yep.
Okay, okay. So you just spoke about kind of substituting positive a positive online history, for what could be a negative one. I'm trying to. I guess I want to ask you to help us think about. Say I did do some work on a community service project. Okay. What are some really good ways to make sure to let the whole world knows, right? That, hey, Elwin Green did a really great thing, so he must be a really great guy. How do we tell the whole world on positive news?
In that case, I definitely would, one, own my own domain and share that on that domain, because owning your own domain is very important, and that's a future conversation we will be having, as well as it was a past conversation we have had. But spreading it across multiple networks. Don't only post that on Facebook, post that on Twitter. Tell your grandma to like it. Tell your aunt to share it again. The more people who are liking and engaging stuff, it moves it. It moves it. It's a game of interaction, honestly. Okay. So if you just posted that and no one actually interacts on it, it's out there. It's great. It's cool. But if you wanted to actually have some movement and motion into your social media results, one, it can't just be a one-time thing. It needs to be like almost daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. I've had a previous client that ran as a school board, ran for school board president, but she got a lot of negative comments on some of the things, and when you would search her name, the negative comments would show up. And it took us about a year to actually just keep constantly posting positive things in a different light. That she didn't want to over inundate the system with just posting out anything, but to get that stuff to just move to the next page, just move out. Yes, there are companies that call themselves reputation companies. They'll help clear up your Facebook, like your search results, but all they're doing is posting out better content with your name attached to it. It could be as simple as, hey, me and you went somewhere in a positive light, and maybe you didn't go necessarily, but you wanted to go, and I tagged you in that. So you want all the positive tags that you could possibly get in, like, even if it's one of your friends tagging you on Twitter to be like, so how was your day, versus something that sounds a little different.
Right. Like how are you recovering from last night?
Yeah, or you see how many beers you drank last night? You reached a new maximum. So letting your friends know when you are looking for employment to, be mindful. Be mindful when you're tagging me with stuff. Be mindful when you're talking to me online. Most people see, especially on Facebook, they only see that mobile version, and they forget that there's a whole sidebar that will show you every comment that you make. Right. And if you've only ever been on Facebook via the Facebook app or Facebook mobile, which is meaning you've accessed it on a smartphone or a tablet, you don't see the side ticker tape that tells you every time you comment. Like, so everybody who's your friend can see when you comment on anybody else's post.
Every time you comment, every time somebody comments on one of your posts, every time somebody likes something you said or put up, it's right there in the sidebar.
I'm waiting for it to tell you, like, you scrolled over you scrolled over my post and didn't like it.
Right.
you know, Johnny looked at your post and he didn't like it. He read all the comments, but he didn't say anything. So it's much more robust than we actually realize, because most of the time we're only looking at the stuff that we want to look at and not all the analytical things that are happening in the background and things like that. And most of us don't even pay attention to it to even know. I frequently search my name. One, it's a unique name, meaning I should probably capitalize the market on my name. Like when I search Shimira Williams, I'm assuming that Shimira Williams, me, is going to appear. But there were other Shimira Williams in the world, I found out.
Well,
that spelled their name exactly like mine.
If you play your cards right, you can be like Oprah or Cher, right? Just the first name. Shimira. Yeah.
So, and then I found out Samara Wiley, which is an actor, is often typed out Shimira. Like, so that's another thing. Like, is somebody is your name Doppelganger out there posting all bad information? Because my doppelganger is not doing the most positive things in life. If you spell my name wrong, in which I often frequently see my name spelled Shamira. Well, I Googled her. She's not doing so many positive things either. So you need to manage that in addition. Like, if you have one of those names that could easily be misspelled,
or what if you have a name that's fairly common, like, I don't know, Bob Jones, to use a really extreme example? How can you manage your Bob Jones online distinct from others?
You need to become Bob A. Jones or Bob B. Jones or Bob A. and B. Jones. Because that's true. People who are like Ebony Smiths or Jack Smiths. Well, how many Jack Smiths are there?
Right.
And is Jack Smith over here being like an upstanding citizen, and then Jack Smith over here is a criminal?
Right.
And so you really need to manage that, and there's sometimes it's going to be the lettering.
Okay.
That is going to be interesting as life goes on, because I can remember I didn't need a credit report when I first graduated out of college to determine if I needed a job. Nobody was like, well, we'll check your credit history to see if we'll hire you. People hired you. Right. So I can imagine that kids now are going to have a social media index number. Oh, I know that's coming. There's going to be an index number for you, and people are going to be like, your social media index number is only a 57. I'm sorry, we can't hire you because
So
based on your like a credit score for your online identity. Let's think of it that way. I mean, because clout's already out there.
Yep.
And it already gives you a score. And there's another one besides clout, Kedre, or it also gives you a score for your social media and online presence and influence. So I see that coming, where we're scoring people on their social media, and it's going to determine job abilities and things like that. Like, you put all the crazy out on, so that's the other thing. You don't have to tell everybody everything. Stop posting some stuff. Yeah. I mean, do you remember, like, okay, I'm younger than you, so a Polaroid was a big deal. You remember you was shaking your hand for like, get this picture. I want to see my picture. I want to see my picture.
Yes.
But I also, like, I've always loved cameras too. Like just waiting to know what a picture is going to look like. Because it was 35 millimeter film. Forget if your mom lost the film or she put it in the freezer and then went food shopping and you didn't find it for another 2 months and it's has frostbite on it, and she's like, I'm not giving you $5 to develop the pictures of I don't know what, but here nor there. We don't have to share everything. Just because technology allows you to doesn't mean share. If you're looking for a new job, stop posting how much you hate your job.
Right.
Post what you can bring to the table to the next job. If you feel like that, start posting about, I'm really good at writing. I wish I could be more passionate about my writing during the day instead of, I can't stand this job. They'll never let me do whatever I want to do. Change the tone of what you want to say so that when somebody else reads it, it comes off. Maybe I am frustrated, but I'm not just spastic. Also, use the features of not being able to share everything with everybody, make a list. So everything doesn't have to be completely for public consumption. If you just wanted to, like, 5 of your friends, use the features that they have out there to only share it with 5 of your friends.
Okay, now I know that Twitter allows you to make specific lists. Does Facebook also allow you to do that?
Yes, it does. And so does Google Plus, because Google Pluses are circles. But Facebook, yes, it does allow you to do that. You can even put people on a restricted list on Facebook. And I'm thinking just unfriend them at that point, like you're on a restricted list. The restricted list means they can only see the things you allow them to see. Okay.
Okay.
Like, they're not technically your friend anymore. They're not an acquaintance anymore. They're on a restricted list. So unless you tell Facebook to let them see that post, they don't see it.
I'm making a note of that because I did not know that. To create restrict. Ooh. I had a question that popped into my mind, and then it popped back out, and it's coming back, and here it is. As we talk about these different aspects of managing your online identity, I'm wondering if it would be helpful for folks to think in terms of selling themselves, right? Like all the time,
constantly.
Yeah, so everything that you post online can either enhance your reputation or it can detract from it. And over the long run, that can affect your earning power, right?
Very much so.
Yeah. Not to mention your social interactions. I mean, some people might look at some stuff on Facebook and say, I don't think I want to get to know that person. Yeah.
And most times it's employers saying, I don't think I want that person to work for me. For instance, if I can look at your Facebook page and all your posts are during the hours you are at work, and your first post is, I just got to work and I can't take it no more, and all day you're posting, and it's not like, oh, I posted at 9 o'clock in the morning. Maybe when I did first walk in the office and I'm first sitting at my computer and everything's setting up, and then maybe you're getting at lunch, around the lunch hour, where all humans, you spend about 30 minutes in your office talking about what's for lunch. So, okay, maybe the whole what's for lunch, I was on Facebook too, whatever. And then I took my lunch break. And then the end of the day. But if you're posting all day as a continuum stream, like you got 9 o'clock posts, you got 10 o'clock posts, you got 10:30 posts, you got 11 o'clock posts, when are you doing the work that you were assigned to do? That shows that you're not being productive at work.
Right.
And if you can get on multiple sites at work, like you got posts on Facebook, you got posts on Instagram, you got posts on, when are you doing the work?
Right.
And so from an employer's perspective, I don't want to hire you because I already feel like you don't work. Your online presence is giving me a timeline of you don't work enough. You're not being as productive as I can get you to be. That can also get you fired very fast because people seem to forget that if you are using a company computer or company internet access, it doesn't actually have to be their device. If you are using their internet access, they own what you are transmitting. So it's on your Facebook page, but you were on their time, on their machine, across their data network. So technically, they own it.
And they have the right to access it.
They have the right to access it, and they have the right to fire you about it. Please, please, I urge everyone, whether you are currently employed or looking for employment, read the employee handbooks, internet policy and procedure. Just about every company has one now. And we've so quickly just I got a new job, let me just sign off on the employee handbook and never read the internet usage policy. And that can get people caught up like, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to post to Facebook. Did you read the internet usage policy? No, I didn't.
And to me, that just seems really odd because I have a hard time even imagining using a company machine on company time to post personal stuff on Facebook. Like, wait, what? I mean, if I were doing something for the company, right, if there's a company page and I'm posting stuff on the company's page, then yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But the personal stuff, company computer, company time, no, does not compute. Does not compute.
But most people don't even look at it like that anymore. They just think, I'm on Facebook. It's not that big of a deal. That goes for email too. I want to be clear about that. That's not only social media. That's also email. And let me focus on if you have a company-based phone, that means text messages too. So if you're sexting on your company phone, please know that you can be fired for that.
Right. Especially if the texts are inappropriate. We'll leave it at
Inappropriate, yes. We have seen multiple people go under over inappropriate text messages.
Yes.
That they probably own their own phone, and they still were inappropriate text messages that took them under.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we would need to cover on this particular episode. We're talking about managing online identities and really realizing that it's all one thing as far as the internet is concerned, right?
It is.
So all of it is you. Even if it's a business account, if you're the one posting, if your name is attached to it, then that's you, right?
That is you.
And on that piece of it, I don't think we've touched on this, and I think it's worth noting. If you are posting something on a company account, and the thing that you're posting is inappropriate in some way, right? You say something that you should not say, right? That can create a problem, not just for you, but for the company itself, right? Oh, we have a slight technical issue here. We'll wait for Miss Shimira to return. Battery. All right. I will just play the Jeopardy theme song until she gets back. No, don't do that. Don't do that. if anyone is just tuning in, we are live. Homewood Nation presents Tech Tuesday with Shimira Williams. And the plan is to actually bring you Tech Tuesday as a regular series every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock to help you better navigate your use of technology to improve your bottom line of your business, if you're a business person, or even to enhance your personal life, to help yourself grow and flourish more as a person. So if you like the idea of receiving that kind of information on a regular basis, please mark your calendars for 8 p.m. on Tuesdays for Tech Tuesday with Shimira Williams, who is back with us.
So I have a new device, and I really was trying to test the limit on really when 7% ding, like is 7% like 30 more minutes, or is 7% like 5 minutes? 7% is 3.8, like under 4 minutes is 7%. Okay. I will know for the next time. I did have my own battery pack though, just in case. I was prepared.
All right. Always prepared. That's Semper Fi. No, Semper Paratus. Yeah, always prepared. Okay. So the question I was posing that I think you missed because of your battery is, well, the situation that I wanted to have us take note of is that sometimes a person using their company computer, using a company account, may post information that's not accurate or that's not appropriate in some way, and that not only becomes a problem for them, but becomes a problem for the company itself, right? So that's something else that we just need to be careful about in our use of online tools and managing our online identity. You don't want to be the person who messed up real bad on the company's Twitter feed or on the company's Facebook page.
That's one aspect of that. Yes, thinking that you are in your personal account and are actually in the company page account and accidentally send the wrong post out on the wrong account. But as an early childhood provider also, and I know a lot of people who work in youth services or family supports, having pictures or nude pictures or pictures that can be perceived as pornographic or any pornographic, even if it's adult information, like, oh, well, I was at home at 1:30 in the morning and I had the company computer and, they said you can use it as a personal item too. No, don't do that. Don't do that, especially if you work with children, because the industry standard versus even your company standard, the industry standard can have all of their IT pulled, and they would actually have to clean every computer to make sure that there is no pornographic information being transmitted in the caretaking or presence of children.
Wow. Okay. All right. So just take note. I'm not going to say anything more.
That was a note because I've actually had to deal with that issue. I've worked at a nonprofit that had that issue with one of their staff members.
Wow.
So that is always in the back of my mind, thinking just because you're allowed to take that computer home, it's really still not yours.
Right. So I don't know what to say next. You have me outdone here.
I have something to say next. Be mindful. Be mindful, because the internet does not die. even if somebody tells you they deleted a post, how many times have you screenshot something? So a screenshot nowadays can make something come back alive momentarily that you thought was gone. Like, oh, I didn't think that was right. I deleted it. But somebody else has already screenshotted because they were like, oh my goodness, did you see what such and such posted? So that's just one way. And just because you wrote delete doesn't, or press the button that says delete, doesn't mean that it actually deleted. I have company web pages that still show up in Google results. When you link to them or click on them, they give you an error 404, but the text and information is still out there floating in cyberspace in bits and pieces.
Also, a lot of people, one thing a lot of people don't know is that Google itself actually makes copies, right?
Everything.
Of web pages and so forth. So the web page that you created, you may indeed have taken that down, but Google, if someone's doing a search, Google will still show them their copy of that web page.
Yes, they will.
So it is indeed quite a web we weave when we venture into the web, and we need to be mindful of all aspects of it all the time.
All the time. Because finding something from 2004 on page 7 is really not that deep.
Right.
Search results. So something from 2004 on my page 7, and it was on Bing. I was on Bing. So, and I can tell you that I get different results on each time I do it. Different results come out on each one. All of them, though, can agree that my LinkedIn profile shows up first.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
I want to thank you guys for hosting me. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you folks next week. Good night.